always wanted to be a drummer, like a drummer boy. So I was just warming up. Thing.
Yeah, I could tell you were doing really good.
What's going on, Ray? What's going on, everybody? How are ya? How was Thanksgiving?
How's everybody doing on this 2nd of December?
Oh
The
yeah.
first show back from the long Thanksgiving break. How was
Well,
uh how was your Thanksgiving, Jay?
it was so great. I
Yeah.
had turkey, and my
Mm.
mother-in-law cooked the chicken mole. I was in
Ooh.
salad, potato salad, mac and cheese. I mean, the list goes on and on. And we can't also forget a little sponsor for our little friend, Mr. Jack Daniels.
Oh, of course.
So I was in heaven, man. It was family was here. It was all good. My son was having a good time. I was getting the good deals with you and I spoke about in the last
Yeah.
conference. I'm sure got it. So I'm definitely
Nice.
happy about that. What about you, Ray? How was Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving was amazing. It always is. My brother-in-law and my sister-in-law host. They're gracious enough to let the entire family run rampant in their house, and they do all the cooking. It is
Mm.
absolutely crazy. Although my nephew uh, did do the dishes, so I have a funny feeling that he's started his own tradition that we're going to be rotating on dish duty
Oh, come over
uh,
here.
every
We
year.
need to hear.
You know, which is fine. I mean, they do all the cooking and massive amount of food. They shouldn't have to clean up either. So, if that's something that ends up happening, I'm okay with it. But I did have my friend Captain with me, and it was fantastic. I
Salute.
also had my other friend Corvus Vodka, which is owned and operated by New England Patriots Hall of Fame cornerback Ty Law.
Wow, I gotta look that up. Never heard of it.
Yeah, it's good. If you take the pineapple or the tropical one, the tropical flavor vodka, and you do put it in with some Sprite, bruh. Before you know it, it's on like Donkey Kong, baby.
That's the spinach right there. That
Yeah, e-
punch.
exactly.
Punch that gets you
Exactly.
going.
So we do have a lot to get into
Oh yeah.
um to get into today. We've got our Survivor Series fallout. We have to talk about the Raw. Who's the masked man? And unfortunately, I really didn't want to open up the show with this, but I do feel that it should be talked about because of how much everybody knows and loves Larry, CM Punk's precious, treasured dog. We found out that Larry crossed the Rainbow Bridge this evening. And, as somebody who has had to put down their best friend at one point or another in their life, um, I can say that I 100% sympathize. And it's not an easy call to make, and it's not, it's people think it's a dog or it's a cat or it's a, insert the animal. That animal over time has become part of your family.
Mhm.
Good times, bad times, infuriating times.
So child.
That yeah, essentially, yeah. I know people get upset with like, it's not their child; it's an animal. Well, some people can't have or don't want children, so they pour all those feelings into having an animal.
Or those are the ones that are not pet owners.
You know, that's actually a really good. I like that theory. It works for me. So here's to you, Larry.
Rest in peace, mi amigo. Salute.
All right. So now we have the saddest part of the night out of the way. Let's talk about Survivor Series.
What a weekend.
Overall, as a show, the whole picture, what did you think, Jay?
I must say, when the lights came on and I saw that whole arena, I thought the production was amazing. I was like, wow, what a stadium. I don't know how many it hold. The lights, the production, the background, everything was just on point. As a show overall, I was a little disappointed. And it just sucks. I could only imagine if I was a ticket holder in San Diego and I had to see that whole PLE as a whole compared to just taking parts. So that's how I felt about it, and I can't believe I do feel like that. So I'm shocked. I'm really am shocked. Survivor Series is like one of the big PLEs growing up, pay-per-views,
Mm-hmm.
big traditional tag matches.
Yeah,
Unfortunately,
it's one of the big four.
yeah.
I'm
We
sorry,
saw
big
some
three.
great matches. I mean, we saw 95 Diesel, fighting against Shawn Michaels. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, we had some amazing matches. Just unfortunate that I didn't get that as a whole, as a show on Saturday. How do you feel?
So it's funny that you bring that up. Now, for me, honestly, I agree with a lot of what you said regarding the production. I always think the production is fantastic, right?
It was awesome.
It's WWE. The production is supposed to be fantastic. As far as the set itself, I gotta tell you, I was very underwhelmed. It looked very much like a regular Raw or SmackDown set. It wasn't I'm not saying that Survivor Series normally has big elaborate sets, but it does. They do tend to feel more special than just a regular Raw or SmackDown stage. You had that, and honestly, as a whole for the show, I was so underwhelmed. I was so underwhelmed. I mean, I think that the two highlights of that night were the women's War Games match and the John Cena Dirty Dom match.
Okay.
Which I would definitely put that IC championship match in my match of the night. I think that gets my vote for match of the night.
I mean, I'm sure we're going to get into more depth of the matches. I just felt they had sort of kind of like the setup was more like a Royal Rumble PLE, the way that they coming down and they have to go like all around just to get into the ring.
It was a very long walkway, but I've come to realize that with the stadium shows, that's to be expected. There's no way around it other than not having it at a stadium. Right. So that really didn't bother me too much. What did you think about no shark cages for the War Games matches? They did it Royal Rumble style.
I didn't like it.
Yeah.
Just for the fact that I think you need it because you're also taking duration of the time in the match when every single person is coming out with their own theme and posing and not really having the sense of urgency to get into the ring to help your teammate, especially if you have the advantage. So actually, I kind of missed that. And I think we all saw why this past Saturday.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you on that one. Was it Jay Uso? Was it Jay that took so long getting to the ring? I can't remember if it was Jay, but I know it was during the men's War Games match. Somebody took so long getting to the ring that I think they were in the ring competing for maybe 45 seconds before the next person came out.
You may be right.
I was just like, wow, that is fucking stupid. Yeah. Honestly, what I would like to see happen, they want to tout, we carry the lineage of War Games, even though Blood and Guts has more of a lineage to war as a closer lineage to War Games than the WWE version, because the AEW version is actually more true to form, right? It has the top over the cages. There's no the whole point of War Games was there was no way, it was to settle blood feuds, and there was no way for you to escape. You couldn't run out of the ring. You could always climb the cage. It wasn't the cage. The cage for the original WCW War Games was not as tall as it is now. In fact, it posed a problem because I remember Kevin Nash getting ready to power bomb. I think it may have been Chris Benoit when it was the Four Horsemen versus NWO, and he brought Chris up to power bomb him, and on the way up, Chris's face was just up against the top of the cage. Like, he kind of had to hunch down so that he could safely take the bump. I'm not saying it needs to be that short, but I would like to see it. I would like to see it the old school War Games way, which is the top of the cage, and have the teams use their own entrance. Meaning, you used to always have the heels at the entrance by the ramp, and you would have the faces on the diagonal entrance on the other side. So they need two entrances, obviously, to do this, and they would just stand there. They would talk shit. They would, there might be an attack, outside the ring, as while the action's going on inside the ring, but there were no entrances. It was literally open the door and just go.
Yep, that's how it should be, especially in War Games.
Exactly. That's always been my biggest gripe with the WWE version. Is if you want to claim that you have the War Games lineage, then you need to be true to the match. Man, I was so underwhelmed with that men's match.
Oh, underwhelmed? Go ahead. I personally was let down of the women's match.
See, I thought the women's match was way better than the men's.
I thought they weren't creative whatsoever. I thought it was just a regular match. If you ask me, if I were to see that women's match, I thought it was a regular match. There was nothing special. There was no aura. I'll give people credit. Well, Last Legend stood out. Absolutely true. But there was no aura. I heard Chris Van Vliet with Io Sky a few months ago talking about how she put the trash can last year over her head and how it was scary because she couldn't see and she didn't know exactly what she was going to do, and she don't want to do that again. And meanwhile, you hear Michael Cole trying to give like a big pop, like, oh my God, it's vintage Io. And I'm seeing her do the same thing. And I'm like, dude, why are we even doing this? Especially when you're on an interview show saying that it wasn't your idea. You didn't want to do it. It's scary because you can't see where you're going. I thought some spots were a little fuzzy. You ask me. And I thought it was just a regular match. I don't know if that was the right finish. I don't like the finish. Personally, I would have done it a little differently. But
because Becky lost and AJ won.
Hey, look, I'm a Becky fan, but also an AJ. But come on, can you think that was the right call? I don't think that was the right call.
I think it was. I think in the terms of long-term storytelling and booking to get us to WrestleMania for the inevitable match, I think that it actually was the right call, because technically Becky and AJ have never faced each other one-on-one. It's either AJ's team fighting Becky's team and AJ's team going over. So it kind of brings to the forefront. Now Becky can harp on that, and it will bring us to the inevitable AJ win, Becky win the rematch. Who's going to pick up the rubber match at WrestleMania?
Yeah.
So
that's
I can see I can see where they're going with that. That's why I didn't have too much of an issue with that ending. Our
Like,
our
go ahead.
longtime watcher, David over in England, where it is 2 a.m. right now, comes
Mhm.
across and says, "I did enjoy War Games, but I'm with Ray on this one. The main event was underwhelming."
I was a little disappointed. So I know I was talking about the women's, but the men's, yeah, I was a little disappointed, especially
I mean, because of how much they built it up. Like you build it up, you have Brock make this devastating return, you have Roman making this triumphant return, and then you have a very, very mild War Games match.
with no creative spots. Everybody's sitting on their ass in the corner, waiting for people to do their shit. At least I'd say this: it had tables. The women's did it.
The women's didn't? No, the women's had kendo sticks. That's why.
Exactly. But
That's
war
why.
games, go way back. You got to put everything in it. I'm just surprised that there was just no aura. There was like nothing there for me to remember, so for me to get excited for next year's Survivor Series.
So here's the thing. I am okay with the lack of accoutrements for the women's War Games match, because if you see, they did two things in that women's War Games match. Even though both of these ladies were on the losing team, they made Lash Legend look strong and literally like her moniker, the bougie bully. They've also reinvigorated Nia Jax, which Nia Jax is very
I don't even think it was rejuvenating. I always think she had it for a few weeks.
Yeah, but the last time you actually really saw her compete, like, it wasn't.
But her promos stand out. I mean, she cuts these one-liners and fans
No,
are
she
into it.
does. She does, but I was talking more about her style. Like, she was always the irresistible force. And I feel like they kind of backed off of that her last few times in the ring. And then at this War Games, like, they really made her a force to be reckoned with Lash. And I do hope that is something that carries over into TV and following pay-per-views, so that you can have literally a very strong and dominant women's tag team championship.
Let me just tell people before we move on that Nia Jax, everybody, basically put over Tiffany Stratton. So I'm sure she could do the same for Lash. No worries there.
No,
Lash,
you're absolutely right.
Lash is going to be a player. Some people are just built on the main roster than they are in NXT. And she's been in NXT forever. I mean,
oh my God, I feel like she's been in NXT for too long.
Yeah. Like 10 years or something. Like, damn. It's just, give me a break.
Another comment from David over on Facebook in England. He says, then to top things off, Triple H promises an epic Raw, which was pretty good, but very far from epic.
Definitely not.
So to that, I'm going to say this. He accomplished exactly what he wanted to, which was to get more eyes on the product by simply alluding to the fact that it was epic.
You're right. You're right. But it wasn't epic. Definitely wasn't.
No,
epic.
it definitely wasn't.
It was good in certain parts, but I'm going to tell everybody this. I could have lived without the first segment of the show. I could have definitely lived without that.
What was the first segment of the show? You have to remind me. I was
Leo,
in and out.
Leo comes out with Rhea and setting up the main event. I could have lived without that. I could have lived without that. I would have done things a little differently too. I think I would have main evented Gunther versus Solo instead of having the tag match. Just switch the matches.
Right.
That's how good that match was. So
Yes.
I would have done something like that, but epic? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that. But there was a really good thing that we'll talk about. But we're still on Survivor Series. And for me, It was a little disappointing. I didn't like the finish, the masked man, all that, which I'm sure we'll talk about next, but I didn't like it. I thought there was nothing creative in the match. And I'm going to tell you something, and David, our good friend, and everybody that's watching, Jay was freaking pissed off. I'm going to tell you why Jay was pissed off, everybody. We're beating down our arch enemies we have for the past year. We've been building this match. We've been going on ESPN and talking trash and cutting these promos day in, day out. Me and Ray eating it like Campbell's soup. And all of a sudden, you decide to go like this. We're going to go yeet. We're going to yeet in the War Games match. I swear, if Bobby Fish was here, he'd be laughing. He'd be like, what the hell is this, Jay? I can't even believe you said this. They were dancing. So let's get this right, folks. We are going to beat our arch enemies down by dancing. We're not going to get ready for the next man that's coming, who's probably a freaking beast. We're not going to get ready for that. We're going to yeet. We're going to dance. I'm going to have my 2 world champions on both brands just dancing with Jey Uso. I thought it was the most ridiculous thing. I should have checked out at that moment. I think David, you, everybody, we should have all checked out at that moment as soon as they started the dance. What the hell?
I mean, first off, did I like it? It was whatever for me. I was just like, I think they kind of, for me, it felt like they shoehorned the gimmick in. But I mean, is that really any different than Rikishi and
Too Cool?
Too Cool, thank you. Yes. Breaking out into a dance in the middle of the Royal Rumble. I mean,
here's the difference. Here's the difference. Even if they're dancing on a pay-per-view, it wasn't called War Games. It's War Games. That's the theme. Just like AEW with Blood and Guts. You're going to do Blood and Guts, you're going to give me Blood and Guts. And that's exactly what I got, which, by the way, topped this show 10 times over. It really did. But if you're going to give me War Games, I can't have that sequence, that spot. I don't care if the fans are yeeting with you. Can't do that. And then who comes out? Who is the last person? The Beast. So let's not get prepared. Let's not bring our guys down. Let's just let them lay there and let's yeet.
No, I totally get it, and I am all for. You're right to make the War Games environment. You're supposed to be uncomfortable in it, right? As a fan watching War Games, you're supposed to be uncomfortable because you're supposed to be, oh my God, what's going to happen? And yeah, they shouldn't have had the entrances. And if they did have the entrances, like if they insisted on having the entrances, which obviously they did, then you make it more serious. You don't have Jay, doing the full dance. Maybe he comes out and like does one as he comes out from the gorilla position, and then just mean mugs it all the way down to the ring. I just.
I'm telling you, Bobby Fish would hear this. He would be like, Jay, you're absolutely right. There's no way me and the Undisputed would be dancing in the middle of the War Games match, or like guys are down and the next guy's coming in like 5 minutes or 2 minutes or 1 minute.
Yeah, no,
more ridiculous, but
it was. It was. David says the best part of Raw was Braun Breaker's promo. We'll get to that in a little while.
So much. But yeah, you can't dance, and especially when it's called Survivor Series War Games.
Mm-hmm.
You can't dance.
I agree with you. It seemed like the women's War Games match to me had this aura, right? The men's, I felt like I had more of an aura than the men's. I feel like there
was no aura. Only Lash had that little aura.
I feel like the women's War Games match had way more of an aura than the men's. The men's just felt like, I felt like the women's were. It just had a different. It had a different atmosphere. I don't know if you want to say they took it more seriously or character-wise they took it more seriously. That's what it felt for me. For like there was no dancing. I mean, every so often you'd have Io do her thing, right?
Yeah.
But that was I mean, that's as far as the goofiness went.
Right. I just want to say to the women's match, I feel it was a big letdown as a whole because check it out. You had AEW Blood and Guts, but probably did the best TV show, probably ratings of that night, probably for the year.
I think so.
They delivered. It was the first Blood and Guts. These women went out there and they said, we're going to go all out and we're going to go crazy. And they delivered, right? We're all in agreement there. I feel like as a booker or just as wrestlers coming up with creative spots and ideas in the match, you need to really think out of the box because now you had these women about 2 weeks ago that just put on the greatest show and called it why it was called Blood and Guts. And you're over here just doing a regular match to me. I didn't feel like there was an or. Now, I will say the best part of the women's match was AJ's pop. I did not imagine that in my mind. I didn't know it was going to be that big of a reaction, but what a reaction. But I only thought Lash looked really good because I think they're doing a great job in production by doing those close-ups and those forearm shots, which is crazy. And I just thought everything was just a regular match. Like, we just seen AJ tap Becky a month ago. Now I just seen it again. It's like, what's really new? We couldn't think of a creative finish or something else. I don't know.
I mean, overall, even though as much as I said the women's War Games match was good, and I liked it more than the men's, do I think the finish could have been more creative, like you said? Yeah, of course. Could it have been more creative without jumping the shark, as they say? Absolutely. You know, I feel like there could have been just I feel like there could have been a smidge more drama in the women's match. There could have been a hell of a lot more drama and storytelling in the men's match.
Right.
You know, so I'm not entirely. I just don't.
Okay, so I'll ask you this last question, and we'll move on to Mr. Batman or the Mass or whatever he is. But I will now tell me this: did you think that the Io Sky spot with the trash can was necessary in this match, and did you like it?
No, I'm not a big fan for listen, I think I've said this before. I'm not a huge fan of prostituting moves. Right? I'm not a big fan of the fact that the DDT is a transition move now. The Canadian Destroyer is a transition move now. You know, the Stunner is becoming a transition move. The Cutter or the RKO is becoming a transition move. Like, to me, it's just I hate it. I hate the prostitution of moves. And no, I don't think that spot was needed or warranted. The whole point of that spot, the first time she did it, is because it was so unexpected.
Shock
and awe, right? The next year that she's in it, she pulls out a fucking trash can that's matching her outfit. Okay? Then, this year when she does it, she comes to the ring holding a trash can lid that is painted white and says Io Sky on it. Like, you already know what's going to happen. Shut the fuck up and let me be surprised.
We got to read David's comment here because it's a good one. I'm
going to bring that up right now. David says there's more give and take in AEW, though. They have a bit more leeway over what they can do in the match.
Agreed. But you could at least put one table in the women's match, which we did not get whatsoever. We've seen it a bunch of times.
Listen, I would be perfectly fine with no weapons in War Games. The only weapon that you have to go back and watch some of the original War Games matches. They didn't bring anything in there. There was shit that was snuck in.
This is not our generation.
But listen, you don't need all of that stuff. You have a fucking cage and you have 2 rings. You have a metal plate that connects the 2 rings. Like, bro, come on.
But if I were to do that, I got to have a bunch of players. I can't just have a 5-on-5. I can't.
And then that goes to a bigger problem. Do the superstars of today have the star power of and the ability to captivate the way that, say, an NWO versus Four Horsemen War Games match would, or a Four Horsemen versus Dusty, the Road Warriors, and I think it was Magnum TA. I'm thinking, like, are the fans captivated as much now with today's stars as they were with those stars? And I'm going to say probably not, which is why they always bring older generation stars back.
Some of them, those old generations, try to just do this to get it out of their bucket list. How many times did we hear Michael Cole say, "Oh, this is Brock Lesnar's first War Games match in the WWE"? Like, I get it, dude. But how old is Brock Lesnar? Right?
47, 48, maybe.
Exactly. Do I really need to put him in this match? No.
No, but Brock is at the point now. Brock can do whatever the fuck he wants. You gonna tell Brock Lesnar no?
Some people like that, for example, is just bucket list. Like, yeah, I did War Games. CM Punk, me too. I did it last year. Me too. Check.
Yeah, no, I
Some people want to accomplish everything. How many times we hear Seth Rollins, he wants to be the best, he wants to do everything. Pretty much accomplished it.
That's true.
You know?
That is true.
But this match, man, I asked you, because that was seems to be the highlight of the men's War Games match. I mean, what do you think of that as a spot as a whole? Because that kind of set up the finish. And who do you think the masked man is?
So my original thought with the masked man was I thought it was Austin Theory.
Okay.
Because there have been rumors now for, I want to say, about a month, maybe a little bit more, that Austin Theory was going to be the next member of the Vision. And he may very well be, and he might take Logan Paul's spot, because I don't think Logan Paul is going to stick around and, full time it for a little while. I just don't. That hasn't been something that he's done in the past. I don't think he's doing it now.
His brother's fighting in December too.
So plus that, and he's usually the corner man, right?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, so he's not not going to be around. So with that being said, and you know that Brock isn't a part of the Vision.
No,
he was just there for Heyman, doing Heyman a solid. So do I still think that Austin Theory could be a member of the Vision? Yes, I think he'll probably take Brock's spot in that 4-man. But here's the thing. As I watched, because I did watch the replay the next day, I was like, maybe it was me. Maybe I was in my bag on Saturday when I was watching it live. Maybe if I watch it today, meaning Sunday, before the football game, it won't seem as bad. Nope. It was just as bad. However, I did notice one thing about the Man in Black. Austin Theory's arms are fucking massive. They're probably about almost as big as his quads. That dude did not have massive arms. Not at all. So you know who I think it is? I mean, you already know because I said it in the production chat. But I honestly think it's Montez Ford. I think it's Tez, and I think this is it. This is the separation. He's going to be part of the Vision, and then you have Austin Theory come in at the back end to be, to take the big guy spot, the muscle guy spot, which would be Brock. But David says, back in the day, guys like Dusty, Hogan, etc., were not too shy to go up to management and say, no, we should do this in a match, or no, we shouldn't do this in a match. Many of today's stars are more yes sir, no sir with the management.
I could answer that, but I'll let you go.
I don't think he's too far off with that. I think it doesn't you don't get that leeway until you hit that next tier, right? So out of today's stars, out of current superstars, who would be able to say and be taken seriously? That doesn't work for me, brother.
Would be a few selective, but not many.
Seth, we can agree Seth. I think we can agree with Drew.
Could put Becky up there.
Yep, we can put Becky up there. Maybe a Kevin Owens. He's kind of on that line for me.
I don't think so.
AJ
Lee, of course.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the people that they've welcomed back: Brock, Punk, AJ, all of them.
I'll put AJ Styles too because he's about to retire, so I'll put him in there too.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. You're right. It is a short list, but the thing is, what David's talking about is there was a point where it wasn't so much individually; it was as a whole.
It's kind of
like what MVP does for Bobby Lashley, right? I don't know if you saw it, but earlier this weekend, an article came out and it said how MVP during booking meetings protects Bobby, meaning people come in and they're like, oh, I want to give you a Canadian destroyer. And Bobby, who is from all accounts, probably the nicest person in the world, he'll be like, oh, that could work. And then he defers them over to P, right? He's like, but go check with P. And P will be like, no, he's a fucking monster. He is 260 pounds of solid muscle. You are 180 pounds soaking wet. You are not giving him a Canadian destroyer. He's a fucking monster.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of the wrestlers now are not in that boat, right? MVP's like, no, that's not anything that that's going to happen in this match, because you'll make Bobby look weak, you'll make yourself look strong for this one match, but then the next time somebody your size goes and does the move to you that you stopped Bobby from doing, then what, right? So it's not going to benefit you in the long run. It's not going to benefit Bobby. So no, we're not doing a Canadian destroyer or a Dominator reversal into a Canadian destroyer. No, you're not.
I'm not surprised.
David says, I think that Lesnar is an exception.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. I mean, there's nothing else that can be said about that other than, yes, you are correct.
We also say that, that it was a different setting back then with Dusty and Hogan back in the day, and it was different ownership, and there wasn't a lot of things of how they would move forward in the future. I don't think they were well prepared.
Yeah, not only that, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but not only that, when Dusty was, at the time that Dusty was competing in all those War Games matches, he was head booker of the NWA, of WCW. So if Dusty didn't think that it should happen, it didn't happen. I mean, if somebody came to Dusty and been like, no, I think this should happen, he would take it under advisement and been like, you know what, baby? You let that happen. But
he did get out of Booker, and things have changed. So Dusty has some power, but then again, they always kick Dusty out. So some people didn't agree with him.
I think that when you're head booker back in those times, you needed to have people kick you out, because after a while, it's kind of like the old saying, if you're the hammer long enough, everything looks like a nail. So if you're head booker long enough, the storylines all look the same.
But it was hard too because you
Yeah.
didn't have stars.
Exactly.
So how can you book?
One could argue that you didn't need a whole bunch of stars. You just needed a handful of stars and some really good minor league players.
And that's the problem with today's product that we watch. They have all these young, talented stars that I've been saying forever, but they just don't let them out there and be like, okay, kid, here you go. Here's a stick. Go out there. Let's see what you could do. Let's see if you sink or swim. They don't. And I can't explain it. I do not know why. Why? And you know, people are gonna be like, well, you know, Maxine got this and this person got that. Okay, that's like what? Two of how many future bright stars they got there that are really talented that we see? And we can't give them that rub?
I
Can't give them that opportunity? Like here, let's see what you could do out there. Go have this match. Let's see what you got. Come on, let's see what you got against Seth Rollins. Let's see what you got. See if we can hang.
Yeah, I can't make any sense of their thought process with that.
But I will do this. I do like the twist with the Montez Ford because I always wanted to see Ford as a good heel, not the cheesy heel we got. But I personally think
You've got Paul Heyman in your corner. How can you not be a good heel?
yeah, I would like to see that, but I personally think it is Austin Theory. I mean, we've seen him gain weight and lose weight, mass muscle as well. So it can be him. It kind of makes sense, but I would actually love to see Austin Theory because he was in that spot, and then it just got taken away by him by change of Booker and Paul Levesque. So I would definitely like to see Austin Theory in that spot. I actually have one of his T-shirts in my house right now because I actually support him because he was just on that run. So
he was.
you know, with that being said, I would love to see if it was Austin Theory. I would definitely love. But dude, I like how it set up the finish and everything in the match. No, and I think that was a little disappointment right there. I don't think you needed it. I think Braun needed to just beat it straight up clean. I got this. I'm the future champ, especially with the promo he cut last night.
Speaking of clean finishes, let's put the men's War Games match in a box and toss it in the basement.
It's gone.
Speaking of clean finishes, one would argue that this was the only clean finish of the night in the singles competitions over at Survivor Series. Stephanie Vaquer, your women's world champion, facing a returning legend in Nikki Bella.
Hall of Famer.
Legend. She went over clean. She beat Nikki clean. Are you upset with that?
No. I just always said that Stephanie has the wrong dance partner. If you want to get her and make her stay to that next step to get the fans into her emotionally, need to have the right dance partner.
Mm-hmm.
But I was very impressed with this match. I really thought it was a bathroom break. I watched it. I liked it. And I think the way that they use Nikki Bella in this match just keeps Stephanie grounded and not do so much and not go crazy. And that's what I liked about Nikki Bella in this match. She didn't go crazy. She just stayed with the basics. And the basics, ladies and gentlemen, it works better than just doing a spot. So I definitely was impressed in this match. But like I said, I always thought Stephanie she needs the right dance partner to get her to that next level with the fans.
I think you're absolutely right. You're 100% correct. If you ever want to see somebody go to the next level from previous generations, watch Ricky the Dragon Steamboat matches. You want to talk about a good dance partner that gets you to the next level? He was a fantastic dance partner for whoever you put in the ring with him. Ric Flair, Randy Savage. It didn't matter.
Yeah.
Same thing with Arn Anderson. Arn Anderson back in the day, amazing dance partner. Made everybody made people he was in the ring with shine. Candyman Brad Armstrong, Road Dogg's brother. Fantastic. I mean, you want to talk about somebody that made everybody better, both in the ring and backstage. You know, Brad Armstrong doesn't get talked about enough. You know, always from what I have heard and what I have read, he was always the nicest guy. He was always, you know, he was always there, always had his gear with him. Number one rule. We've heard that 100 million times. You know, number one rule is always make sure you have your gear. And he went on, he competed in a pay-per-view match. It was the lower card, but it was still a pay-per-view match with, I think it was like 75 minutes notice.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. You know, and still had a fantastic match. Not everybody needs to be a superstar. And I know Brad Armstrong is probably way too far back for some of our listeners, but let's talk about that, because there's another one in the like Brad Armstrong in this generation. Claudio Castagnoli, formerly known as Cesaro.
Surprising.
He can put on matches with anybody. He is the epitome of, he doesn't need a title for him to stick out in fans' minds.
They need him at least with a championship.
Right. But what I'm saying is he doesn't need it to earn name recognition. He, like, his body of work speaks for itself. Is essentially what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Going back to War Games and the Women's World Championship match, I think that it was the perfect finish. I am not upset with the fact that she beat a Hall of Famer clean. If anything, that helps bolster her character and her stature in the company. Makes her that much more of a credible threat and a credible competitor, regardless of if she has the title or not.
Yeah, I liked it.
I did like it. It wasn't, like you said, there wasn't a whole lot of glitz and glamour. It was a very basic. It was basic. It was just the basics, girls, and it was a good, solid match. Which then brings us to my candidate for match of the night. It was for the IC Championship. Your reigning IC champion, John, never before seen 17 Cena, versus Dominic Mysterio. Dirty Dom was looking to get his IC title for a bit, back from John Cena. And he did, but he did it with a little bit of help, as every good heel should. He had Roxanne Perez.
Oh, yeah.
He had Raquel Rodriguez. And then at the end, when everybody is laid out and it's just John and Dirty Dom in the ring, the Queen of the Judgment Day returns. The one and only Liv Morgan. Crazy. And listen, the swerve she gave, like, I had me hooked. Wasn't expecting it. She comes in, she smacks Dom across the face. I'm like, oh shit, she's coming back and she's saying, to hell with you. I see what you've been doing with Roxanne. I was like, oh, that's going to be a good feud. Roxanne and Liv? Okay, both of those girls can go. That's going to be a solid match. And then she jumps up and gives John this giant goodbye hug. And then you see the facial expression change. And then she kicks him in the balls. Hits him with the title. Dirty Dom gets the pin. Dirty Dom gets his title back. Dirty Dom gets his title and his original girl back. I thought like just from that, it could have been match of the night, right? Just from that finish sequence. But the actual wrestling that happened in that match, the storytelling, the ring psychology, every part about that match was solid. Solid.
For me personally, when I saw it, I was a ruse. I was like, wow, I really thought Dominic Mysterio got injured because I just saw the same move
Bro,
that Penta went through and got his dislocated shoulder. So I thought something really happened with Dom. And kudos to him, man. That to pull that off to rouse me is wow. I got Rose. I thought he was injured, man. I really thought.
I was with
yeah.
them on that. I was with them on that the whole way until they kept the camera on him.
Okay.
What was the first thing they did when Penta, who was legitimately hurt, what was the first thing they did? They went to commercial.
They went off camera, yeah, and then they went to a break. And then,
right. Now, I understand it's a pay-per-view and you can't take the break, but you could have taken the camera off of them because John was in the ring acting concerned.
Yeah, it got me.
You know, and then once they kept it on him, I was like, oh,
it got me.
I know what's gonna happen.
It got me because the way the camera was shot at Dom's face, selling was just. I'm like, I just saw this move with Penta, so kudos to him, man. Kudos to John. I mean, I'm thinking he's doing the botch of all botches, and it was actually a ruse to get everybody, and it got me, and I was just like, wow, that's crazy. And the Liv, I just loved. They needed her. They needed her so bad. So I'm glad she's back. And when she did that face, man, I was like, devil's face, devil girl. What they call it? The devil what? I forgot what they call it. Lady Devil.
She Devil.
Yeah. It was crazy. It
was. So David comments, he goes, I can't wait for a heel turn from Stephanie. I think she'd pull it off. I think the character that she has now is a far better heel character than it is a face character.
I don't think she could pull it off now. I
think they would have to make it a much darker character than it is now.
I think she just give her like a few months, maybe.
Absolutely. He's not saying right now. He's saying when it inevitably does happen.
Look what they did with Nakamura. They could always just do those video packages and could go like that.
With the subtitles, those were so well produced.
They did it to her already. Remember?
They did.
It's nothing new for them.
No, but I wish they would do more of those cinematic Lucha Underground type promos. That's what set Lucha Underground apart from other wrestling organizations at the
time. I just love like it was like a movie. Like every time you just like started, it's like
right.
You see the dude just coming into like the back alley, like, hey, what's going on? Are we on tonight? Like, what the hell's going on? I thought this was wrestling, bro.
Right, but that it
cool. It was cool. It was
the way they ran with that made it so different, and like you really appreciated the entertainment aspect of it. You know,
I was definitely caught though. That whole moment with Dom and John. Kudos to them, man. I wouldn't even blame you because you said it was a candidate for match of the night for you. I wouldn't blame you if you put that. Not one bit.
Yeah. Originally, that was. I mean, it still is match of the night for me.
Yeah.
But it happened, and there were still a few matches left. That was only the second match of the night. So I was like, I don't know. That's definitely a match of the night candidate. But then once it ended, I was like, nah, it was definitely match of the night.
Yeah.
All right. So to wrap up our Survivor Series War Games Fallout, 1 through 5, what would you give it?
I'll go. Damn, 1 to 5. Okay, I'll go 3.
I was bouncing between 2.5 and 3. It was like I said, for me, it was hugely underwhelming. Dave thought that it was underwhelming.
Yeah.
You know, I just
Disappointed.
yeah, I was. I mean, you know, also because of the fact that we have talked to Bobby 3 times this year already, and we've always talked about the War Games match, and Bobby loves talking about it. David says he gives it a 3 as well over in Facebook.
Yep. All 3.
All 3 get a 3.
All 3.
And he talks about it, so it was fresh in our minds, right? Like those fantastic War Games matches in NXT Black and Gold, and the War Games match with the first one with the Bloodline. You know, good matches. So I think that also we have those fresh in our mind to compare it to, and it just didn't hold the flame, man. Didn't hold the flame.
Big letdown.
So with a around the ropes rating of 3 out of 5, we can say so long and farewell to Survivor Series War Games 2025.
Thank God.
And now we are on to the last time is now Saturday night's main event. So we have that happening. And like David touched on earlier in his comment, he said, Triple H said, Epic Raw. Triple H said, Epic Raw, you know, at the press conference, the last 2 pay-per-views. There's only so many times he can say Epic Raw before he gets the Dixie Carter treatment. Dixie Carter and her, 5 million special announcements back when Impact was not doing so well. Impact is doing fantastic now. You know why, Jay?
I heard.
Because of the TV deal, and it is official. It is 100% official. TNA, Total Nonstop Action Wrestling, will be carried by AMC.
Crazy.
That is a legitimate TV station. Everybody gets AMC. It's not difficult to find. It used to be the home of The Walking Dead and all of its iterations.
Like classic movies.
Classic movies from today's era. Like
American movie.
I think I hope that this means something huge for AMC.
Do you get the feeling like their numbers are going to be crazy for like the first month, and then just
peter off
like the others? Yeah, it's just going to be like the others.
I think so, but I think the one thing it's going to do is remain consistent.
Oh yeah,
especially with their WWE partnership that they have. I think having NXT on a more available network and having Impact on a more available network, it's easier to do crossovers and for people to recognize other competitors. So hopefully we'll have storylines and continue to have storylines that thread through both shows.
Oh, they definitely have to go all out the first day.
Oh, of course.
They definitely going to get crossover.
I think WWE already said that they plan on helping Impact make that a big show. So let's find out. Let's see what happens in January.
For the new year, right? Big shows. Netflix, now this.
Yeah. January seems to be the month. All right, so let's go into Raw last night. I will Jay, why don't you kick it off?
Well, I think I just said it earlier. We kicked it off with Io and Rhea and Charlotte and Bliss, basically setting up the main event. But
Mhm.
I just want to say that Raw had its good moments, but it also had moments that kind of just not get me engaged into the match. Wasn't saying I turned my eyes the other way, but I wasn't invested. But overall, I think we need to talk about first thing the Braun Breaker promo. I think we need to get into that because it was very big for Jay. I've been a Braun Breaker fan since day one because I knew who he was when he was coming in. I
Mhm.
knew he was the son of Rick Steiner. I grew up to the Steiner brothers. Scott
Mhm.
Steiner, Jesus, I watched him not only in WCW days, but in the aggression era. I love these guys. So I'm definitely going to have an interest in watching Braun. Big fan of Braun. But I think he really shined. I think this is what I talked about, Ray, and everybody, that here you go, kid. Here's the stick. You got 15, got 20 minutes. Let's
You
see
get
what
one
you can
segment.
do. Let's see what you could do. Let's see what you got out there. Because let me just tell everybody, doesn't need to talk. Braun Breaker does not need to talk. Paul Heyman was doing all the mouthpiece from the beginning of the segment, and that was it. But he was basically setting up Braun. This was all about Braun. This wasn't about no Vision. This wasn't about no Logan Paul, no Tribal Thief, none of that. This was all for Braun Breaker. And I get it that you have to throw some cuss words to get a pop, but I think it worked here because I believed it. I was invested. His eyes was telling me the story and it was telling me his emotion. So as I'm watching him, Ray, I'm just like, Jesus, if I was across from this guy would kick the shit out of me. He would beat my ass down. And the way
Mhm.
he was speaking, the way he says certain lines, I definitely liked how he used what we always say. It's best to use reality in your promos,
Mhm.
and we got it with a little taste of that WrestleMania backstage segment that he said. And voila, la, la, here's the promo. I just cut it. And he did. And you know what, Ray and everybody? I've been a Braun Breaker fan. I probably only see him do one. Well, I'm going to let me say two promos, right? One in his NXT with the math, and then the
Mhm.
other one with Roman Reigns. But this one, definitely is on the top of those two. I think. I think this is where he really shined. I think people are not giving him. You see how they were trying to do the what chance, and that
Mhm.
just fell out real flat. Everybody was invested. Everybody was listening, and that's what you need. You can't have people chanting what all the time. You need to hear what they're gonna say, and I think he delivered. I think this was the opportunity, Ray, that I told you that every future superstar needs to get to that next level. And certainly they gave it to Braun Breaker and he delivered.
I think we're gonna hit David's comment, who says all we need is for TNA to get a UK deal again. Then I'll watch it religiously like I used to up until 2015.
Oh wow.
TNA, much like AEW now, used to be available on our free to view channels. Both Impact shows and their pay per views were what? The pay per views were free to watch?
I feel like everything's free in like the
What
UK.
the hell?
Yeah, you got free Raw, SmackDown, and the POE.
Right.
Awesome.
Now, getting back to
Yes, sir. The
your
Braun Breaker.
thoughts on Braun Breaker's promo. Do you think that that was a breakout promo? And not that he needed a breakout promo, but do you think that that promo is going to do for his career the way the Miz and Daniel Bryan Smack Talk promo, and you know which one I'm talking about, um, did for Miz's career after that?
I don't think it was a breakout promo. I thought it was a basic promo. But I think this definitely opened people's eyes because I don't think they expect that when
Mhm.
they see the vision coming out with Braun Breaker not saying a word. And we did get a lot of that. And I think this kind of opened people's eyes and it got him to say, wow, this guy could really use the stick. He knows what to say out there. I didn't know he could do that. And I just thought it was just a basic promo, but a breakout, no, because he's young, and I'm sure there's going to be better ones than this.
Mm-hmm.
But as to get everybody engaged emotionally
Mm-hmm.
and believe that when you look into this guy's eyes, like he means what he says, yeah, I think he delivered on all cylinders. But breakout promo, no.
No. I definitely think that the promo let's be honest and let's get everything straight here. The promo did nothing but elevate him. Like, you can see the ascent. You're watching it before your eyes.
Mm-hmm.
The ascent into superstardom that Bron Breakker is on. He's not being forced down our throats. He is not talking all the time. And what makes that so important is that when he does take the microphone, especially after this promo, you're going to pay more attention. Continue to let Paul do most of the talking. Let Braun talk when Braun needs to, when the story calls for it. And then you will just build this mystique with him. I don't like comparing because I don't like saying this because it can be considered comparing, and that's not what I'm doing. But when J.J. Dillon was the mouthpiece for the Horsemen, everybody had their chance to get like their one line or two lines in, but JJ did most of the talking. And when it came time for Ric Flair or Arn Anderson to say their lines, because they didn't talk all that often, when their segment started with Flair talking, the entire venue went pin drop silent, because Flair, when JJ Dillon was there, Flair didn't talk unless it was necessary for Flair and the story to talk. And I think that that's what they're doing with Bron Breakker. And I think that his promo last night showed that. Definitely got more eyes on him. Definitely got more people talking about him. But you know what I want to see? The first match after that promo that I want to see Bron Breakker have is with his weekly jacket. Every jacket that if you watch that man every week, he struggles taking his jacket off every week. And this past week, I thought the jacket was going to beat him.
Did it?
I thought the jacket was going to beat him during the promo.
It played perfectly.
Right?
Sometimes the stars just align. And if you heard the promo from the beginning, it was straight up basic. He didn't kick even the intensity in the beginning. I think he was trying to figure it out as he was going, okay, what I'm going to say next. What I'm going to say next now.
And then it's almost like he just stopped thinking so hard about it.
It was like you're on the road and you're like trying to go up, and it's like.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I think that Bron Breakker promo was.
But do you think it was a breakout promo? I throw the question back to you because I said no.
You said no. I think it. I think it was, and the reason why I say I think it was a breakout promo is because of how much of the people's focus is now on Bron Breakker, or when Bron Breakker talks. Whereas I don't think that focus and that thought was there before that promo for Braun. You know, obviously everybody's engaged when Paul comes out and Paul's talking and Paul's doing his stuff. But like when Bronson comes in and says his piece, and especially during the War Games promos, Logan Paul would say his piece, and Braun Breaker would say his piece. Everybody was just kind of like, they heard them, but they weren't listening. I feel like everybody in that arena was listening to Braun Breaker last night. So yes, I put that under breakout promo.
And you know what's so cool about it? Like, I saw like little backstage videos today. That promo, how the mic just bounced. I didn't know it bounced into Logan's hand. He actually like caught it off the bounce.
Did he really?
Yeah, the mic bounced. It jumped up. It landed right on Logan's hand. That's why he said, "Damn." I thought he picked up the mic and said, "Damn," like after the promo. But
just kind of being like a hype guy.
Yeah, it was like in like YouTube. I was like, "What?" It bounced in his hands. Like it just landed right on his hands, like perfectly. I was like, "Wow, this promo is legendary."
Kind of like that Brock Roman promo, right? Where Brock tosses the mic to Roman, and just out of sheer coincidence, Roman's hand was like this, and the mic landed right in. I think it was leading up to their match at SummerSlam, and it like Roman literally just had his hand like this, and literally the mic landed in his hand.
You need to see this bounce. It was like the craziest bounce.
I'm gonna have to go watch that after the show.
It's crazy. I was like, what?
So, furthering our Raw recap,
sir,
we had our. You talked about our, Rhea and Rhea and company coming out doing the promo, and then poof, we have the we have the main event. The main event, by the way, which ended in a no contest. Shocker, because everybody just started brawling. I was so shocked with that.
Ooh, wow.
Where do you think they are going with this? Because right now I feel like the storyline, it's not a fully detailed statue right now. Right now I still think we're in the lump of clay. We're in the forming of that story. I think this storyline really takes shape and starts going later on this month to lead us into the Royal Rumble.
Which story are we talking about here?
Charlotte and company.
Okay. I think they have no idea where they're going, which is why we got what we got last night in the main event.
Mm-hmm.
I think they have no clue, and I think it's just because you have all these stars and you don't know what to do with them. And I think it also hurts our women's champion, Stephanie Valkyrie, which is why we get Nikki Bella facing against her for all these weeks and all these promos. You're taking all these top stars and you're basically putting them in going for the tag belts. And I want to throw this to you, Ray, and everybody. Mm-hmm. Let's not forget that about a week or so back, Raquel Rodriguez was speaking to Adam Pearce and says she deserves a title match. And Adam Pearce is like, yes, you will. I promise you after all this, you will get into the title match contention. Mm-hmm. It seems they totally threw that out the window after last night's finish. So I did not like that whatsoever. I thought that was a bad apple right there because they just basically buried it. And you need top believable contenders for Stephanie Valkyrie. But I think they have no idea where they're going with Charlotte and Bliss and Rhea and Sky. I always had the intention, Ray, and I think you may be on the same page that it would be Bliss and Flair at WrestleMania 1-on-1. Now
I thought that's where they were going with the whole War Games.
Exactly.
Like Charlotte not co-signing on for War Games and then them having to get like I had this shit all planned out in my head,
look, think about it. I get why Nia and Lash, they're a team. They want the belts somewhere down the road.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think I need to see Charlotte and Bliss revisit this match. And I don't think you need Rhea and Io to go after the belts. Like, what's going on with that? They're too big of stars right now. And if you're not going to give them the belts now, then you need to stop this. you need to have them doing something else. So I think they just don't know what to do with these tag teams that they have. And I think they don't know how to break it because now it's a tough choice, right? Because Flair's getting a big pot with Bliss. Do you really want to break that up and have what we started after the Tiffany downfall?
So I'm okay with Bliss and Flair staying as a tag team.
Exactly.
It's not the first time that Charlotte's been a tag team champion with somebody. I'm okay with that. I don't understand the Rhea Io thing. Like
exactly.
What? Like right there, those are two very solid opponents for Stephanie and
what did the right
women's champions on SmackDown?
What did they say to themselves? Okay, now we're gonna go after the tag belt. What? The War Games' purpose was to basically beat them. Congratulations, you succeeded. We're continuing this. Now we're adding Charlotte and Bliss in it. It's like, I don't know, where are we going here?
I don't
because
know.
Now you have Nia and Lash in the background, so you're gonna basically put them in all this too. So are we taking all these top stars and like not really doing anything with it? Like you promised me Raquel a title match contention, and now you threw it out the window, and now she's holding the belt with Roxanne Perez. What's going on? Wasn't Roxanne Perez fighting Stephanie Valkyrie a month or so back, non-title? I just feel they have no direction. I just feel they're just putting all these teams in, and it's like, let's get this gauntlet match going. I don't know. I don't want to see it, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't get it.
I don't get the Rhea Sky thing. That I don't get. That's a mystery beyond me. It's like
it is. It truly is.
How you gonna, because it's like how you gonna break that up? You know what I'm saying? Like, who's gonna go heel? It's like, what are we doing? What is this? I always thought it was the big payoff was Flair versus Bliss at WrestleMania. It made sense the way everything was booked all these months.
Now
I see them coming out. Oh yeah, we're a team. We love you. And then you see Flair doing this with the Hearts. I'm like, oh, you can't break them up now.
Right.
Now you can't break them up. You can't even possibly do this WrestleMania match now. It's like, how are we going to set this up?
I mean, you could. So if I had the pencil and that was really where they were going, you could break that. There's always a way to break them up, right? You could break them up later on down the road, on the road to WrestleMania, by having Bliss turn on Charlotte, and whatever, beat down, what have you, double cross. You have Bliss turn on Flair, and then when Bliss is asked about it, she could very well bring up the War Games situation where, Charlotte had no problem turning her back on her, when she needed her, and Bliss was just, I was just doing it before it was done to me. So you could always go that way, but I definitely think that they lost the opportunity to have Charlotte be the one that goes a heel. It only works if Bliss is the one to go heel, which is because Charlotte's, as good as Charlotte is, she is better as a heel than she is as a face, and that's usually how it is. The nicer people are always the better heels, and usually the faces are the dicks backstage, of course. So
it's just, they got the momentum's there. I mean, you've seen it last night. It's like, I can't really break them right now. If I want to break a team, I have to break the Rhea Sky first.
Yeah, I think that's the team. That's the first team that should go. I think that
that has to go.
Actually, you know what? I do agree that it has to go. And they don't even have to do some sort of big angle for the breakup because I feel like they've already started to sow seeds that Rhea is going to help Priest with his Zelina Aleister Black issue.
Oh, they're still going at it?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yep.
Yeah, nothing else to book Aleister Black. This is what we're doing. Wow.
Yep.
Great job, guys.
So that takes us to the fact that there were only 4 matches was crazy. That takes us to our WWE World Tag Team Championship match. AJ Styles and Dragon Lee, which I think that they should name their tag team AJ Lee.
AJ Lee.
AJ Lee faces the New Day. Were you expecting the New Day to win?
No.
Neither was I, and they didn't. It was a good solid. It was a good match. It was I mean, you have Dragon Lee, AJ Styles, Kofi, and fucking Xavier Woods. You can't have a bad match. Those 4 people together are incapable of having a bad match. Yeah. So it was a good, solid match that I enjoyed watching. And AJ Lee retained their titles. Now we have the 2 semifinal. Last time is now.
Before we go there, I just got to say that the finish of that match, Kofi bounced into Styles to catch that Styles clash. That was freaking amazing.
Bro, it is. It's so good. It was so good and clean. The timing that they have, the chemistry that they have. Awesome. David says, I think Aleister and Zelina are getting the Cross and Scarlet treatment. You have said that. You have said that for weeks on end.
Exactly. Even Priest is getting the bad rub. Jesus, we don't have anything for him.
How can you not?
Right?
Former WWE champion and relegated to.
I mean, I'm his freaking brother, for God's sakes, and my own brother can't even get freaking opponents. This is freaking crazy.
Right?
He's fighting Aleister Black a bunch of times. What's next? A casket match? What's going on?
Don't laugh. Don't laugh if they do it.
Both might go in the casket. It might not just be one. It might be both.
Don't laugh if they do it.
David's right, man. It might be both of them buried in the casket.
Maybe. All right. So which semifinal match do you want to talk about first? Do you want to talk about Gunther versus Solo?
What's the other one?
LA Knight versus Jey Uso.
Let's talk about LA Knight, Jey Uso.
I was hoping that's what you would say.
Yeah.
So LA Knight, Jey Uso, as a match goes, I thought it was a very good match. I honestly wasn't expecting Knight to go over. I really wasn't. I was expecting to see a rematch, Gunther versus Jey. But to see LA Knight go over, I wasn't mad. I wasn't mad a bit. I was happy to see LA Knight go over. If LA Knight goes over Gunther, that would be great too, because as I have said, since Gunther entered this tournament, he don't need this. Longest reigning Intercontinental Champion of all time. Longest reigning UK NXT Champion of all time.
People forget that too.
And bro, can we just talk about the design of that belt?
It was freaking awesome.
The design of that belt was peak. Gorgeous.
It was bigger than Tyler Bate.
That center plate was pretty large.
When I saw him wear it, I was like, God, I don't think you should wear this, dog.
Bro, no, that's definitely for you. That is a shoulder belt.
Yeah,
you walk around with that on your shoulder because when you put it on like an actual belt, it starts at your waist and goes to the bottom of your like the bottom of your pecs.
Yeah,
like you are all belt, sir, all belt.
So who do you had in this match? I mean, I know you.
So I originally thought that Jey was going to win, but as the match got on, I started to see that it looked like LA Knight was going to win, which don't get me wrong. I am so thankful for that. I just thought they were going with the easy story of JV Gun, right? And to see them flip that on its ear and go with LA Knight, and then to have Jay's outburst at the end of the match, we're slowly starting to see him unravel. And as he unravels, he's not nice. His mannerisms change, his facial expressions change. When he emotes, it's no longer the smiling, laughing Jay emoting. It's the angry, mad, mean Jay.
Yeah.
Like I'm telling you, I feel like this is gonna come full circle, and it's going to be Roman and Jay in a Hell in a Cell.
I want to start off by saying I agree with what you say. It was a good match.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you. But I also hate WWE Unreal show on Netflix because they talked about Jey Uso and giving him this so-called rocket.
Yeah.
And then they showed some of his matches with a little mishaps here and there.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of hate that I kind of saw that in LA Knight in that match. I think he needs to do a little less in order for him to be on that next step according to certain eyeballs in the back. I mean, if you and me as fans, I could give two shits. I would love to see LA Knight hold the title. That's just me.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm sure you're the same. And that guy freaking deserves it, for God's sakes. All right. 20 years experience in the business. So, but I think the way WWE, they kind of look at certain little things like that. I know you and I may not look at it, and sometimes I do, but they always look at it. And if they want to be taken as that next step, you have to be perfect. You have to be perfect till you get to that top person. And there was some little mishaps on both guys, but honestly, I love the LA Knight call. I think it was the right call. It got over. And you know what I liked about the match? It continued the story with Jey Uso and how he's feeling and what happened when they were teaming up back then with Jimmy and what he said to them. And now he doesn't believe in himself anymore. He's lost that belief that, well, what do I have to do? It's not my night. It's not this. I don't give a damn about a Braun Breaker. I don't care about this. And that's what I love about WWE. They continue stories. And I think they did it perfectly here. And I was in who? I was like, yeah, throw that pine bottles on the freaking floor. That's just nasty anyway. It's like, yeah, throw that shit. Fuck it. You get mad.
Bro, like I mean, do I think he needed to pick the card up and like start swinging it and body slam it?
Have you tried a prime bottle? Have you tried one?
I've only done the prime hydration. I didn't do any of the prime energies, but there was one that I had. It had like a very slight lemon flavor to it. I didn't think it
really
was
taste like lemon.
Yeah, it did. For me, I don't really drink it for stuff like that for the taste. I drink stuff like that for like the hydration. Like if I'm out, if I'm coaching softball and I'm like, I have that fucking cotton mouth.
I got Gatorade for me, man.
Yeah, but sometimes on the way home, the corner store don't have the Gatorade and it's got like fucking Prime. That's actually how I found Body Armor.
Through Prime?
No, through the corner store not having any Gatorade, but it had Body Armor Light, which tastes so much better than the regular Body Armor, and it's so much better as far as
I used to buy Axe as a kid in the deli. I was like, yeah, let me get that little bottle. It's like $7. $7 for this little bottle? Jesus. All right.
Yep.
Let's do it. But I think that's the great thing. It continued Jay's story, man. I kind of like to see where he goes next.
I think it's going to be good. They keep with the storytelling. They're consistent with the storytelling with Jay.
All right.
And as long as they continue with that, it's going to be good. When he finally does turn heel, it's going to be good.
I just feel that both of those guys can do less. I think less is good for them. I don't need to see LA Knight jump like a frog to do a superplex all the time.
Well, that's always been his signature move, even when he was in the NWA. That was one of his signature moves. But I don't disagree with you. And we had this conversation when it concerns AEW that I've always said, like, less is more. Let it breathe. Like you all right. So you do the jump to the top rope for the superplex. Neither one of you should be doing a big move after that. Like, let it breathe for a little while.
This is why I didn't like WWE Unreal, because they watched that, and this is why Jake went back down to mid. It sucks, man. It sucks. That's why I'm like, this show sucks, man. Like, now you're showing me this, like,
yeah. The next semifinal, last time is now tournament match, was Gunther versus Solo Sikoa.
Should have been the main event.
Agreed. I was going to ask you what you thought of that match, but you pretty much just answered it. It should have been the main event. Listen, I didn't know Solo had that in him.
What?
No, I knew that he was good. I knew that he was good, right? I had no problem knowing that he was good. He was good in NXT. He was solid in NXT. He's solid now, but like it wasn't anything flashy. I mean, it had its spots, but it wasn't flashy. And like, Solo can wrestle, bro.
Yeah, but the NXT Solo, oh man, that was like, I knew he could wrestle.
Street champ.
Never, he was just put in a spot that he couldn't really shine. But now, I think he really shined in this match. And I seen some of the SmackDown matches. They weren't really like, ooh la la. I think we just said like a million times, gotta have the right dance partner. And Gunther could put over a broomstick, for God's sake. So
that he can.
Their floors are going to be sweet and clean. Trust me. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it was a good match. It should have been match of the night. Like, I think they got that a little wrong. It was really great. And can we all be in agreement that it was supposed to be Solo and Gunther all along? Even before the Penta injury? I would say so. It makes sense.
Yeah, I actually think that it was either Sean Ross Sapp or Chris Van Vliet. One of them said that it was always going to be Solo going over Penta, regardless of the fact that he ended up winning because of the injury.
Makes sense, because think about it. Penta's already over. I don't need him to win the match, but I could get Solo a little over myself, especially if he's in control of a faction called the MFTs.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And it worked. And Tali Tonga did his part.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta give him credit. The way he sold, yeah, it was great. Those chops was vicious, man. He sold best.
Do you think that Gunther goes and like, because if you notice, in big matches, his chops just sound so much more vicious, right? Do you think that when he has one of those instances where his chops are extra vicious, you think he goes and buys like his opponent something like, a steak, a fucking bottle of whiskey,
That's like a Brock Lesnar type of That's the only way you're gonna hear those stories. But I think he just has, from what I hear, they say that Ilya Dragunov has like a reputation of like, when you're gonna fight him, he's gonna give it all.
Yeah.
No buts about it. I think Gunther got that same respect. And I think people, if they sign up for it, they want it because they want that challenge. But 9 out of 10, I'm pretty sure this guy tells you straight up, listen, I'm going to do this and I'm going to chop the out of you. And your chest is going to be super freaking rare. Can you handle it? Yeah. Okay.
Dude, I encourage, if you haven't already, I encourage you to go see the Pandemic NXT UK, where Ilya Dragunov and at the time Walter had several matches.
The best one, Kovic era, right?
Yeah, bro. Yeah. You want to talk about chops? Brutal. And it was brutal. There wasn't any bloodshed, right? But it was brutal because they didn't. It was a very short amount of time between each match, right? Like I think it was only like a week or two. So I think it was the second match. Gunther fucking chops Ilya, and if I'm not mistaken, like you just see his skin go like this, and then he just starts bleeding from his. It wasn't a lot of blood, but Gunther did split him open with chops. Like it was no joke.
It's one of those anomalies like Brock Lesnar, like you know what you're going to get yourself into. It's like you either want it, you want to be in that spot, or you don't. And 9 out of 10, everybody wants to be in that spot, especially with Gunther. Because he's already, like you said, longest IC champion. So he's already established.
Which is why I don't understand, man. Why are you having him go over?
Because I think this is John Cena's John Cena probably got advice from all these legends. And I'm pretty sure all these legends, if they had to say who they want to go against, it'd be Gunther. He's just that badass old school type of wrestler that you grew up to and I did back in the early 80s. That's him. And I'm telling you, put him with a broomstick, put him with a bop, put him with Chad Gable, put him with Otis, put him with all these people that you already done. And what happens? You watch the match. You don't fast forward it. You don't stop it. You watch it. Why do you watch it? You watch it because of this person. So is he doing his job? Yes.
Of course.
But then again, like, yo, your chest is going to be ripped off skin because he's a killer, man. He's a killer.
You're going to have that burger meat just hanging.
But you got to, I'm pretty sure, Ray, if I said, Ray, this is your tournament, who want to be your last opponent? Do you want Gunther? You want Jey Uso? You want LA Knight? Or you want Solo?
Are those my only choices?
What, you want me to throw Carmelo and The Miz there? I'll throw them in there for you if it makes sense.
I would definitely take Carmelo.
No.
Listen, the whole point of this tournament was to show the world the upcoming stars. And Melo, Javon Evans, like man, come on. Why I can't get over why are you picking somebody who is already established?
I get it, but John Cena is not one of these, I'm going to catch you, high fly, all this type of stuff in every single minute of the match. Pretty sure he wants to have a basic wrestling match. Melo can't give that, and Javon can't give it. You know how big of a Javon fan I am. To go with John 15, 20 minutes? Come on, this is not going to be no 10-minute match. Let's face it. There's no way John Cena's doing a 10-minute match and calling it a night.
I don't know. Okay. So here's my thing. We all know that Gunther's supposed to be the one facing John. Yes. What if it is a 5-minute match because Gunther just demolishes John?
Then I would really kick NBC's ass if I was John Cena, and I would definitely be tight at the booker, who is Paul Triple H Levesque, and be like, what the hell's going on? I'm surprised Goldberg didn't go and started spearing Paul Levesque after what happened to him when his speech got cut off. Hello.
Nah.
And what was it for? It was for a ruse. I would even be more upset because it wasn't a legitimate injury to Seth Rollins. I would have been more upset. You think they're gonna let John? They're gonna do that to Johnny Boy? No way. Has to be a 15, 20-minute match. I just don't think those guys that we love that you mentioned, like Melo and Evans, can hang. And it's not that.
Oh, I can guarantee you. I can guarantee you that Melo can hang for 20 minutes. I've seen Melo hang for longer than that. Well, then that's a different. That's a different question, right?
There you go.
I think Melo and John would adapt the match to highlight each of their strengths and not show their weaknesses. And if that means that Melo does less high flying, then that's fine because Melo can still wrestle. You know, I just for me, like I said, you know, and I will continue to say, it's just stop telling me that it's to showcase the up and comers. Just say it's, you know, John Cena's 16 hand-picked opponents. Just say that instead of, you know, to showcase up and coming talent.
Yeah, we all got played. I really thought TNA Stars was gonna be in it, you know. Yeah,
right. Like, I mean, okay, so I guess you could say that it was, right? Nick Nemeth was in there. If they had him wrestle as Nick Nemeth instead of his WWE name, then we could legitimately say, oh, they had TNA Stars in there.
You can't call them TNA Stars in the tournament. They weren't. They were WWE Stars.
No, but what they could say is from TNA, from NXT.
But they never did.
No, they didn't.
Oh my God, it's Zack Ryder. I was like, oh my God.
No, like and that was the other thing. Like, never again. I'm never doing the Zack Ryder thing again. Zack Ryder's dead.
See what people do, like when I honestly think
that. And then the checkbook opens.
Like Matt Cardona might hate me for saying this, but I honestly think, like, dude, I remember growing up in a home, like, I loved, man. I'm telling you, loved, like 12 years. And I had to move, man. I didn't want to move, bro. I didn't want to move. And I think when you want to go back into something, into your old house, like me or whatever, bro, I just think that certain people do whatever or sign whatever or say whatever just to get back. And I think this guy was like, yeah, I'm not really all for this. Oh, but we'll give you a merch deal here, a little Legends deal, so you could get cuts.
We'll give you a 40% merch deal.
It's like, I get why you're doing it because, hey, the money's great, right? But then again, it's like you say, man, you would never use the name again. It's like you're selling the soul to the devil because it's like, dude, you said this many times that you weren't going to use this Zack Ryder and it was BS to what you really are. And you established yourself at Matt Cardona yourself. And now you do this for one night only. And look, it was a one night. Everybody thought he was back because they saw t-shirts. They're like, oh my God, he's back. You can't believe it.
No, it was probably a one night only deal. Listen, we'll put your shirts out for, 48 hours. You get like 25% of it. Boom.
But why sell your soul, right? Like, Cody stood his ground when he came back. I mean, Vince McMahon flew to his house. Why you can't stay in your own? I would have told those people, yeah, I want to do it, but I don't want to be. How you go to NXT showing up as Matt Cardona and then you show me SmackDown and Zack Ryder? How are you going to play me?
I think for me that's one of my biggest gripes. And then even seeing Nick Nemeth as Nick Nemeth like a couple weeks ago, and then seeing him show up as Dolph Ziggler, like
it's like you're killing like the whole thing for me. It's like I know who these guys are. I watched them on Tuesday night. What's going on?
Or having Tyler Breeze show back up as Tyler Breeze.
Yeah, it's like, and like I ask you, like, and I ask everybody, what, like, do wrestlers really just? Maybe I should ask Bobby this. Like, do we really just do whatever for a buck? It's like the passion is gone because I always hear passion.
Yeah,
and I see it, especially with Matt Cardona and what he established.
Oh, the king of the indies.
Yeah, of course, well established, right?
Yeah.
But is it like, they give you this deal? Is it worth it? Is it really worth it for one night off and you're getting, like you say, maybe 40 on the back end when merch is like, I don't think it is. I think sometimes you got to be a man and you got to hold your own, and you'll get something bigger and better. Like it may not happen right away, right? But it's gonna
Mhm.
happen. Just feel like these guys like kind of sold out, and and the Nick Nemeth situation, Dolph Ziggler, like next day on Busting Open, he's like blabbering about it. I'm like, dude, but went back to Dolph. It's like, is that what you really want? Like I thought when they let you go, which was a shocker, by the way.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I was like, I thought you wanted to be your own thing, like sort of like Baron Corbin, right? And that's not transitioning great. It's kind of getting bad, but I mean, I thought what these people want to do. Like, why do wrestlers need to feel like, okay, this is my only shot, so I'll just do it, whatever. Like,
Well,
bro,
I think a lot of it has to do with what you said, right? You when you move out of somewhere or you move away from somewhere,
yeah,
whether it was amicable or not, you start to think back when after some time has passed, you start to think back of being there. And if you notice, the only things that you remember off of what I would say reflex are the good things, right? Like remember when this was so funny, blah, 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 blah. But you forget and you downplay all the bad things that happen between those good spots. And I think that has a lot to do with why you see a lot of them returning after they say they wouldn't return. Maybe they're also returning because, let's face it, Vince isn't in charge. Maybe that's why. Maybe I'll go there and sign with Triple H for a couple weeks or what have you. See how it is. See if it's changed, and if it's changed, then maybe I'll stay.
just feel like they get a lot of crap talk in their ear. It's like, hey, look, sign this, and if it goes great, we'll see. Here's your opportunity.
Right.
But then again, it's like, is it really worth it? Like Cody held his own. Well, why can't you? Like, okay, it's a great deal. I would love to be back, see my wife, etc., etc. But I don't want to be here where I'm at. I've been fighting. This guy been saying in interviews for 5 years he's been trying to get back. 5 years, Matt Cardona.
It's kind of gotten to the point where it's a running gag between his friends. Like, did you see the episode of Cody's podcast with Kevin Owens?
No, I didn't.
Oh, Kevin, they start talking about it. Of course, they bleep his name out. I believe they bleeped his name out. But he starts talking about it, and he was like, and Kevin Owens was like, yeah, I've never seen somebody say that they never want to come back, begging to come back. Like it's the weirdest thing. Like always talking about wanting to be back.
So weird.
And of course they're laughing about it, and they're busting his balls because they're all friends. But still, he kind of has a point.
Yeah, but are we gonna just say that everybody that leaves and want to come back are just freaking hypocrites? Pretty much, right? I mean, you're saying one thing, but you're doing the opposite. I don't care if it's been 5 or 10 years later. I mean, when was Dolph Ziggler released, for God's sakes? It's been years, right? 3, maybe 2, 3,
4. I think 4.
Maybe 4, right?
Yeah.
Look at that.
I
don't know. I don't think you should just sell your soul for $1. Like, if you're gonna stick your ground, stick it. Eventually, it paid off. It paid off for Cody. It paid off for Drew. It paid off for Here's a fun fact, everybody. It paid off for Bronson Reed. Yes, Bronson Reed is a badass in New Japan. Watch him in the Okada match.
Oh my God!
So it paid off for him. Why are you just taking this shortcut? I don't know. That's, for me, I wouldn't do it personally. No.
I don't think that I would, but then again, I don't know. I don't know what I would do staring down the barrel of a check that has more money on it than I have ever made at one time.
You got your hot ass wife making the money. You'll be fine. You'll be fine.
That's fair.
Don't worry. You'll be good. Because obviously for 5 years he's been good, right?
Yeah.
And where does he go all the time? Matt Cardona, who I follow. Where does he go all the time every year? Disney World. So
Yeah.
hey, still doing your thing. And he's building his toy cabinet room and everything.
Oh my God, that thing is gonna be massive. That toy cave.
It looks fire. The cabinet and everything looks fire.
I can only imagine.
Follow Matt Cardona, folks, because that toy cabinet is gonna be like. He's gonna have figures there, toys probably from the 80s and 90s or something. And I'm not talking about WWE. I'm talking about like old school type shit.
Bro, if he has the flagship from G.I. Joe,
you might have it.
Like, bastard.
You have the $1 Million Man. Oof. Him or the Boss, forget about it.
Yeah.
Forget about it.
All right, so to wrap up our Raw fallout.
Oh, yeah.
Our Raw recap. If you had to grade, what would you grade the epic episode of Raw, the epic Raw that was last night?
3.5. 3.5.
I was going to go with a solid 3.
Yeah. 3.5. That three sounds good, but I go 3.5 because it got me into certain things. Not everything. Yeah. Not everything.
No, but that Breaker promo really got you going.
And by the way, you'll probably laugh at this one, or maybe you watched it, but I know, no, folks. Jay is not going to watch Maxine Dupree train. There's no video package. There's no promo or any of that crap. Whenever she comes back, Jay is not going to watch it. Jay is going to hit the fast forward button, and that's it. That's exactly what I did. I'm sorry.
I don't know. I kind of want to see. I kind of want to see the Maxine Ivy Nile match.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
I do. I listen,
We've
man.
seen it already. Why do you want to see it?
We saw the Ivy Nile Maxine match before Maxine really got her legs under her. I want to see. I want to see if
you will defend her to the end of the moon, my friend. You are invested in Maxine Dupree. You are.
I just don't think that somebody who is actively working on getting better, like literally trying her hard, I just don't think she should be the butt of the jokes, man. I know what it's like
to be. She's the champion. Now, if you say that comment and she was an IC champ, I would be in agreement with you. I would be like, you know what, Ray? You're right. But she's the champion. So the standards just went from here to here real quick.
Okay. That's understandable. Maybe that's a perspective that I didn't really think to look at.
I can't. But I'm definitely that fast forward button definitely coming in. I suggest people do the same if they're watching this. Yes, please.
So rude.
If you're watching us now, please hit the fast forward. If you're watching last night's Monday Night Raw on Netflix, fast forward that part. It must have been bad. Was it bad?
I don't know. I didn't watch it. And it has nothing. I was not in front of my TV at the time. It has nothing to do with.
You didn't watch it. Wow.
I did not. Wow. I'm gonna be on. Man, the Patriots were playing last night.
Oh, please, that game was over like the first quarter.
It was actually the second quarter when it was like 30 to 7 or whatever it was.
I changed it back. I was like, okay, I think I'm gonna watch Monday with Eli. Because this is like not working. I need some comedy.
Woof.
When he had Danny DeVito and OBJ, I was just laughing.
I didn't even
like in his own world. Like, you see,
he's always been in his own world.
You see the Peyton and Eli?
No, I didn't. I just had the the original.
Yeah, they had OBJ, but like sometimes they try to get him in, and he's like in his own world. Like, yeah, bro, we're trying to get you on this slant route play that's going on. He's like talking something else. Like, yeah,
something completely different.
Yeah, that catch, that I did. Yeah, it was very freaking amazing. Yeah, wait, hold on, OBJ, we got a play going on. Yeah, that catch was something. Danny DeVito, he was funny, bro. When they did the fake field goal, fake field goal. He's like, "What the hell is this? I never seen this in my life." When he kicked the turf, I was like, "I never seen this in my life."
No kidding.
Yeah, it was funny. I kind of watch them because it kind of brings like blowout games like last night. Kind of makes it entertaining. Like, yeah, okay.
Nice.
But I'm hoping that it picks up because we are expecting Cody Rhodes to hit SmackDown this Friday. So let's see how that. And I will say this because I think we got like.
Oh, you mean Cody's actually going to go back to his own show now?
Yeah, he's going back to his own show. But I will say this, as we got about 3-4 minutes left. I will say this, Ray. I don't like where they're going with the direction of the main event of WrestleMania. I don't like that it's Cody and Roman and Punk and Braun from what it looks like. I think that was the wrong call. I had Cody and Roman because that's something new and fresh. I don't think we need to see Cody and Roman again for the third time solo. Make this the fourth time. Let's not forget the tag match. I think that was a bad move, right? I don't know if you agree, but
yeah, I don't want to see Cody Roman anymore.
And I think that's what we're getting. And I
would rather see Cody Braun, Roman Punk.
Yeah. And you know what? What's funny, Ray? I don't even remember where they were beefing. I don't recall them having like a physical altercation or verbal.
Which one?
Like, how the hell? At the end of War Games, like, you know, Cody's looking at him, he's like, "Hey, man," and then
I'm not really sure. I don't. The only thing I can think of is that I had to go back to that previous Raw where Roman was just kind of stirring the shit and being like, "Don't worry, I'm coming for your belt," and he was literally like, he was looking straight ahead and said it as he was walking away, and Cody was like, "You can have it any time," and Punk was like, "Yeah, he definitely wasn't talking to me. He was definitely talking to you."
But I think with all the major players, even though it was a disappointing Survivor Series men's, with all the players, it was supposed to tell us what's really going to happen at WrestleMania. And by the looks of it, I'm not into it. I'm not. Cody and Roman, I'm checking out.
Yeah, I can't do another.
I'm checking out.
We spent a year. We spent a year doing it, man. I don't want to spend any more time.
Was it 2 years? Is it 2 years or
because he like a year and a half?
A year and a half? Yeah, a year and a half. Probably a year and a half.
Yeah,
feels like 2 years.
Feels like forever ago.
Yeah, not a fan.
No, not at all. All right, Jay, let's wrap up tonight, December 2nd. Yeah. You got any thoughts before you say goodbye?
Yes. Hit the like button, subscribe. You know where we at. I-86 Network. This is Around the Ropes radio show. I'm Ray. I'm Jay. You know what it's do. But overall, I hope everybody had fun Thanksgiving. Love you all. Thanks for watching us. Please hit us up next time with your questions. We will get to it. David, man, you are the man in UK. I don't know what time it is right now, brother. Maybe it's 3, maybe it's 4 in the morning, but you are the man. Thanks for watching us, bro. We appreciate everything you do for the show. And I'm sure Ray does too, because he knows you the longest, right, Ray? So with that being said, I'm happy. I'm about to get on some Battlefield 6 because I got it for a great deal. So I got to let you guys go. Sorry. I'll catch you up next time. Ray, what are your thoughts?
Listen, man, thanks for tuning in. Like Jay said, you can find us on all of our socials at YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Around the Ropes, youtube.com/Around the Ropes radio show. It costs free $99 to subscribe. Please go like, follow, and share. David, you absolutely are the #1 fan. We appreciate you tuning in every week. And it's time to go because the band is firing up. So, ladies and gentlemen, good night.
You told you